afternoon and welcome to another Facebook Live, or what we call it, Wage Wednesdays. I'm Rafael Gongon. I'm the manager for Denver Labor. If you're new or this is your first Facebook Live you're watching, we work under the auditor's office, our Timothy O'Brien, and under the executive director, Jeffrey Garcia. Our division, basically, our goal is to protect Denver employees and employers by promoting lawful employment and providing exceptional labor, wage, and hourly enforcement. We do that by enforcing 5 wage laws in the city of Denver. The first one is prevailing wage that has to do with all the construction that happens in the city that the city pays for and our city buildings. Davis-Bacon Act is basically the same thing, but it's funded through federal funds. Then we have the minimum wage that applies to the whole city, regardless of if you have a contract with the city or not. Contractor minimum wage, that it belongs also with the prevailing wage and the Davis-Bacon Act, and then living wage. We serve the entire community, employers, employees, and the city and county, obviously, because we're employees. Also, for those who are new, we are very flexible and we adapt to the situations. Right now, all our employees are working from home, so the best way to reach out to us is through emails. But we are still doing a great job enforcing the wages. And one of the things that we have adapted is bringing this Facebook Live to give more information on how we work, and also for you to be informed of your benefits, or to provide means for you to ask questions. You can, if you have any questions regarding that topic that we're gonna be talking today, or anything that you see on our website, feel free to email us at wagecomplaints@denvergov.org. Give us a call at 720-913-5039. And also you can visit our website, which has a lot of good information for your benefit. Today, I'm gonna leave you with Abby Kreckman, and she's gonna give you a presentation about fringes.
Thank you, Rafael. Good afternoon, I'm Abby Kreckman. I'm the lead analyst for Denver Labor. And as Rafael said, we're gonna be delving deeply into fringe benefits, covering what is a fringe benefit and how our office approves fringe benefits. So first, what are fringes? Well, for the purpose of prevailing wage, fringes are guaranteed employer-provided benefits that benefit employees' health and welfare. Some examples of approved fringes could be health insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, disability, retirement plans like 401ks and pensions, paid time off in the form of sick days, holidays, and vacation, and apprenticeship programs. To receive credit towards prevailing wage for fringe benefits that your company provides, they must first be approved through our office. So how does our approval process work? Well, we have a standard fringe benefit spreadsheet that companies fill out and send to our fringe technician along with backup documentation. This spreadsheet takes whatever benefits you provide to your employees and converts them to an hourly credit that you can then apply towards your prevailing wage requirement. As part of the approval process, the fringe technician verifies that the claimed amounts on the spreadsheet are accurate based on backup documentation and sends back those hourly amounts to the company. Once you go through this approval process, your fringe approval is valid for 1 year. Now, what triggers an annual fringe approval? Well, it's usually triggered through the certified payroll process. So normally a contractor submits a payroll with fringes claimed, and those fringes have either never been approved or their approval has expired. Their analyst will then begin the fringe approval process. Now, it's good to keep in mind that this whole process we're going to be discussing, the fringe credit approval, is not a requirement to do business with the city. You always have the option of paying a rate in lieu of fringes directly to your employees to meet your prevailing wage requirement. But most contractors do choose to go through this process because they're already providing the benefits and they want to receive credit for them. Okay, let's dive into the fringe approval process, starting with how to fill out your fringe approval spreadsheet. Here's a an example of the Fringe benefit spreadsheet that we use. It's the standard spreadsheet we use. You can see at the top left corner here, there's a section to fill out with all of your company information, the contact person that we should be in contact with. And when you start filling out this spreadsheet, you're going to want to include all of your employees who will be working on any Denver prevailing wage project, because Fringe approval is not project specific. Once you do your annual Fringe approval, that counts for any work that you do with the City and County of Denver. So you'll begin entering your employees, their information, and then start to enter the benefits that you wish to receive credit for into the spreadsheet. If you have any questions about what a column means, if you hover over, there's a red triangle in the corner of each column. When you hover over them, a comment box will pop up explaining what that benefit means, what you should enter in the box, and what backup documentation you should provide, if any. So as you're going through entering your benefits for health, dental, that's all going to be the monthly co-premium that the employer pays. Once you get over to vacation, sick days, these are annual hours that the employee receives. And you'll notice as you're filling this out, the formulas in the spreadsheet will start to convert those amounts into an hourly fringe in this total fringe column here. And that's the amount that once you receive approval from our fringe technician, that's the amount that you credited towards your prevailing wage requirement. So you'll complete this spreadsheet with all of your employees and then send it to our fringe technician at pwfringes@denvergov.org for approval, along with whatever required backup documentation. If you're not sure which backup documentation you need to provide, the spreadsheet lists it at the bottom, but you'll also receive an email back from our fringe technician telling you exactly what she needs to be able to complete your approval. Now to dive a little bit more deeply into each type of benefit and what our office requires for fringe approval, I want to start with health insurance because that's usually the biggest benefit that employers provide. To receive fringe credit for health insurance provided to the employee, we basically need proof of the portion of the benefit that is paid by the employer, like a monthly bill. No credit is given for the portion of the benefit that is paid by the employee. Now, another type of health insurance that is done a little bit differently, so I want to go into more detail here, is for self-insured and self-funded plans because our policy is a little bit different. Basically, our policy is that we approve credit for 100% of an employer's fixed costs and then 75% of an employer's variable costs, including claims funding. So obviously, to be able to process an approval for a self-funded or self-insured plan, we require documentation that breaks down fixed and variable costs. Here are some examples of what backup documentation that separates out those fixed and variable costs can look like. So you can see these are all different types of documents. Some are coming straight from the third-party administrator, some are coming from the provider themselves, some are internal documents. We're flexible with what we will accept as long as it breaks down the variable and the fixed costs and we're able to confirm those amounts. Now for 401k and pension plans, the requirements are similar to health insurance. We need proof of the portion of the contribution paid by the employer. There's also a requirement that pensions and 401ks are funded at least quarterly to receive credit as a fringe benefit. For paid time off, we require a copy of the policy or employee handbook that details the benefit. Paid time off is based on an employee's off-site rate, and there are some requirements for us to ensure that it is a guaranteed benefit. For example, we don't approve use it or lose it policies, and if there's a cap on how many hours can roll over, there will also be a cap on your approval. All of that is to ensure that it is a guaranteed benefit the employee receives without condition. Holidays also require a copy of the policy or employee handbook. For for the same reason, so that we can ensure that there are no conditions to those benefits. For example, no credit is given for policies that require an employee to work the day before or the day after a holiday, as that's a condition to the benefit and it's no longer a guaranteed benefit. So basically, when we're looking at your fringe benefits, the two most important things that we're verifying are that the employee receives the benefit unconditionally and that the amount being approved is paid by the employer. Once we verify those two things, we can approve your fringes. Now, while our annual approval process that I just detailed is quite involved and requires a lot of backup documentation, you can also do updates to your approval throughout the year, and that process can be a lot easier. So what triggers a fringe update? Well, it can be a number of reasons why a company might want to update their fringes. If they hire new employees since their last approval, if individual employees' fringes change for any reason, so that could be their offsite rate increases, that can be they get married and have a family and their health insurance changes. If they add new benefits that they didn't provide to employees before, or if their health insurance renewal comes back with big increases. All of those things are things that they're going to want to receive credit for to cover those additional costs. So rather than go through the process of doing another annual approval, we can just update their existing approval. So to do an update, you'll make the changes on your annual approval spreadsheet and highlight any changes that you made in yellow. You'll send your update to our fringe technician, and she may request additional information in order to validate those new benefits. But basically, this process can be very fast. Now, hopefully you have a little bit more information about what fringes are, how they relate to prevailing wage, and most importantly, how our office processes fringe approvals and how you can work best with us through that process. If you have any additional fringe benefit related questions, you can either enter a comment on our Facebook Live video, or you can email us at pwfringes@denvergov.org, or email me directly at abby.kreckman@denvergov.org. Thank you for your time and have a great day.